one, a masterpiece. Close to the gods, the one, a masterpiece.
So I'm Roi, I'm a 37-year-old seasoned entrepreneur and growth hacker from Israel. So I've got 25 years of experience, though I know I look kind of young. I started when I was at the age of 13. That was in 97, my first startup. And we've created Tweak. So Tweak helps websites increase their conversion rates with the help of autonomous personalizations. So just like the autonomous vehicle, imagine the autonomous vehicle. Imagine if both of us would have entered asses, for example, and I from Israel being a warm country, even now during the winter time, and you from France, and I'd probably see short-sleeved shirts, my size charts, color preferences, and you'd be seeing winter clothing of your likeness. So Tweak would reorganize the site elements according to each user's unique preferences, and do so from the very first page view, GDPR compliant, of course. So we have global partners, but most of our staff is local, working from our offices in-house. And regarding the market, it looks really like soon there won't be a single position left here apart from tech. I mean, teachers have been recently and educators leaving their jobs to become data scientists or developers, and even the current prime minister well, he used to have a startup before he became a politician. So that's the ecosystem here in Israel. Well, we're just a little over 20 team members, and regarding mishires, you can never fully avoid them. But we try by making sure that, well, several stuff. First, that we're as transparent as possible during interviews in regards to our expectations from potential employees, and that we're fully aligned with the employee. But also, we make sure as best as we can that these expectations can be met with relevant tests and onboarding process for each new team member. That said, our main focus is always on personality. So the person's ability to become an integral part of our team, as opposed to specific knowledge they bring abroad or degrees, other qualifications, that's the key, I would say. They are important, but we understand that good people can be trained, whereas if you bring bad traits, that's going to be an obstacle. Well, I could fine-tune my previous answer and say that we're looking for personalities. So the must-haves would be the ability to self-learn, right, patiently, willingness to take challenges, try new things, and tackle obstacles, and obviously being a team member, a team player, sorry, and hopefully a kind one. In that regards, the no's would be quite the opposite. So people who only want to do it their own way, not willing to compromise, don't know how to grow within a team or how to grow out of criticism, and that are looking for quick wins. It takes hard work to be a part of a startup. I could give you a short example of an occurrence we've had here. We had a developer, unfortunately we had to let him go eventually, but he was given a task, and despite all his knowledge to integrate with a specific API, he continuously returned with the answer that it cannot be done. And we kept saying there's no such thing as impossible. It's not an acceptable answer in a startup. We need to figure it out. That's why we're recreating stuff. So eventually they had a product, she is a full stack developer, but not as proficient as him. Just picked it up. She heard that he was struggling, and she figured out the solution herself without it being her task. So I would say that they're willing to kind of resort and find solutions to stuff. That's a trait that is a must. Yeah. So when I was referring to alignment, I was referring to to the expectations in a sense of aligning with the workloads, the team members, the alignment between the different department managers. We use plenty of task management softwares, but I think more important is the expectations I was referring to. Because when people don't really know what is expected of them, and when tasks are not as clear, it doesn't really matter how you outline them on a task management platform, because if there's a like a hole there, that could be distracted. And we in fact, right now at these very moments, there's a lunch meeting outside, so we send a few people out of our office every day for lunch, for them to get to know one another better, so they have better means of communications. So right now our CTO is meeting with a customer success manager and an administrative manager, which are not from his department, just to improve the communication within the team. No, well, because I started when I was very young, so I've learned along the way. 25 years of experience definitely changed my philosophy in the way I hire people. The last time, for example, I hired a couple of veteran employees with high rates and expertise. It proved to be the wrong idea, because in fact they were worn out. So most people in that regard don't have the same drive after 20 years, but it really varies. So it changed in the means that we are looking for passionate people with the ability to learn, and less of we changed that philosophy in that regard. We're not really looking for the trained employees all the time, or the ones who know how to perform the job, but not necessarily within a team. So we always put them on programs, training programs, put them aside a more highly trained developer to the system, if it's the IT team. Before they're being hired, we send them all the materials they could study from, to make sure they get as exposed as possible. But it's also very important for us to look for autodidact team players. So it's a crucial part of the thing, because I believe in a small startup in particular, you need people who are able to work as part of a team, but also resolve issues themselves, because if they always interrupt the other team members to ask questions, then this is not as effective or as efficient as you would like to start a job with. Right, so that goes back to my previous answer. I would look for autodidact team players and test them, just to make sure that they have the right skills. And I would also have the other team members, not necessarily just the head of department, or just really other team members, meet with them, so they could share their opinions with you before moving ahead, because eventually these are the people they're going to need to interact and work with. So you need the decision makers along the way, but also the team members. And this could work both ways, because employees you're hiring could get the impression of what the environment is like from a team member. So I would add that to the cycle, just meeting with regular team members, not necessarily just the managers. Well, just that I'm looking forward to for getting a chance to meet everyone at the B2B Rocks in June. I'll be participating in a keynote on personalization, AI, conversion rate, what we discussed earlier, the shift from marketing automation to marketing automation. So I'd be happy to meet you all there.
Close to the gods, she's the one, a masterpiece.